Are you someone that holds on to things too long? Jobs, relationships, assignments, roles, responsibilities? Are you someone who struggles to move on when it's time to change? Do you fear being thought of as a quitter? Well, in today's video, I'm going to give you the keys to helping you understand why you can't move on, and also to help you understand how holding on to things is actually moving you closer and closer to burnout and away from success. If you stick with me during today's video, you'll finally be able to move beyond survival and start getting more done in less time and with less work and less worrying. Not only that, at the end of today's video, you'll be able to know when it's time to move on, how to move on, and in the event that you decide to stay in any situations, you'll be able to have the calm and the peace of knowing that you're where you want to be instead of where you feel like you have to be. Welcome to Thrive Nation. So oftentimes when we're talking about letting go, most of the time people think about letting go of things that are hurting us, letting go of things that are bad for us, but that's not what I'm talking about. That's not what your problem is. See, your problem is holding on to things that are okay, that are mediocre, that are decent, but knowing that it's time to leave from those things, but just feeling like your loyalty is tested or like you're a quitter if you don't go and move and reach for that brass ring, reach for that calling that you have that you know is more. And I know how you feel. I remember I was feeling exactly like this. I was living my life as a teacher. I had worked all my life. I knew that in my heart I was a teacher. That was what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to help people to learn, help people to see the world differently. And I was a classroom teacher. I had been in the classroom at this point when I realized that it was time to leave for about 5 years. And I started doing the math, right? I started looking at the fact that I had about 200 students that I touched that I really got to pour into their lives a year. And if I taught for another 20 years, that would be about 4,000 students that I would be able to deal with. But I also saw that the constraints and the changing of the administration and the things that they were allowing us to do as teachers and the way that we were having to interact with students as teachers was going to reduce the level of impact that I was going to have. I could see the writing on the wall, but I felt like I was going to be doing those students a disservice if I left. It was really difficult. But the thing that I realized and the thing that I'm so grateful for now that I was able to learn how to lead was the bigger vision and the amount of people that I'm able to impact now doing the things that I've done, having gone to law school and gone to the Marine Corps and now doing the work that I do with Thrive Nation and with my leadership consulting practice and all of the work that I do. If I hadn't been able to leave the profession, which was not bad to me, which was doing well, and which I was actually making an impact. If I hadn't known when it was time to leave, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. And so what I want to talk to you today about is how I got through that process, how I was able to figure out when it was time for me to leave. So the first thing that you have to be able to do is you have to actually look at the pros of leaving. You've got to look at the reality of the bigger vision. What is it that can be gained by leaving? And this is one of the things that for those of us that are, loyal, that are faithful, that this is a lot of times what we won't even allow ourselves to look at. You won't look at what can be gained by going somewhere else, what can be gained by leaving and by doing something else. But this is one of the most important things that you have to do, because sometimes the grass is not greener, quote unquote, right? Sometimes when we look out and we look at what's out there, it's not actually beneficial for us. But if you don't do the analysis and actually look at what is out there, what are the possibilities, you never know whether or not there's something out there that could be beneficial for you. So the first thing is to look at the pros and to list them all, list them out. What are the things that you're going to be able to benefit, and see whether those things actually resonate with you or whether they're just things that are out there that are supposed to be important. That's an important thing. The second key that you have to do is you have to look at the cons of staying. What do you miss out on? What do you lose if you stay? Now, I'm not talking about, the gripes and the small little things. I'm talking about what are the things that if you stay in this space, you won't get the opportunity to achieve. I knew that where I was as a leader, I wasn't good enough to do the work and make the impacts that I needed to make if I left. And I knew that where I was at the point in time in my life when I was making this decision, my wife and I had just had a baby. If I stayed any longer, I was going to be locked into a situation where I wouldn't want to move my family. I wouldn't want to make it difficult. any longer. The longer I stayed, the harder it was going to be. So I knew that the cons of staying were not just that it was going to be more difficult for me to get the training and the education and and the experience that I wanted, but it was also going to make it more difficult for me to go get that training and education and experience later. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about look at the cons of staying. You have to not just look at what's, not necessarily great with it, but also you have to look at the opportunity cost. What are you going to lose the opportunity to do by staying where you are? So the third thing that you have to be able to do is you have to do the reverse of what we just talked about. So you looked at the pros of leaving, or the pros of leaving and the cons of staying. The next thing you want to do is the reverse. What are the pros of staying and the cons of leaving, so that you have an objective analysis so that you can weigh it down, what is beneficial. And then the last piece after you do all of that analysis is you've got to tap into your intuition. You've got to realize that the answer is inside you, that the answer is in your connection to your purpose, to your greatness, and that there are certain things that resonate with you that you just know are right. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't do the logical analysis. That's why we started. Step 1 and step 2 are doing the logical analysis. But after you've done all of the facts, you've got to learn to trust yourself, because you've got to remember that you are the decider. You are the one who has to figure out whether or not the decision that you make is going to make you happy. Because at the end of the day, once you can trust yourself, this is so key, then you will know if you need to change later, you can trust yourself again to do this work and to change. It makes it so that you don't have to be right all the time. But because you can do this process, you know that you can get to an answer that is going to resonate with you, that is going to make you feel comfortable, that's going to make you feel happy. And that's what allows you to take the chances, to take the risks, or to be comfortable staying where you are. And that's the big key to release you from the question of, is it time to go? Is it time to stay? How do I know how to do that? If you can make sure that you trust yourself, that you tap into your intuition, and that you trust your core, right? Does it resonate? Then things begin to change and you get to really tap into your greatness. So the key takeaway for today in summary is that things have seasons. Not everything that you're doing are you supposed to do for the rest of your life. And you have to be able to tap into your ability to do the analysis, right? Because holding on to something too long can be just as bad as quitting something too early. And you have to be able to decipher and distinguish between the two. So the 3 steps in summary are, remember, to look at the pros of both decisions. You want to look at the pros of staying and the pros of leaving. Look at the cons of both decisions, the cons of staying, the cons of leaving. And remember that there are opportunity costs to either decision. And so you want to look at them in a balanced manner. And then once you've done that, you want to tap into your intuition, tap in to trusting yourself. Because once you can trust yourself, and regardless of the decision that you make, if you need to change it, if you need to do this analysis again, you know that you can trust you. You can trust your connection to the universe. You can trust your connection to your purpose and to your greatness. And that's the biggest key. So as you continue to work on manifesting your greatness, on moving beyond survival, remember to tune in on Thursdays to our Facebook channel, because we have our live show, Thriving Thursdays, where we're going to be digging even deeper on how to tune into your intuition, how to tune into yourself. What are the questions that you want to ask? What are the things that you want to go into? So tune in. The link is down in the description. Make sure you show up. It's noon Eastern time on Thursday. And as always, remember, if you're getting value from these videos, if you feel like what we're putting out is worth your listening and it's helpful to other people, please like, subscribe, and share the video. Pay it forward. Send this video to somebody that you think could use it, because the more that this message can get out, that helps us to reach our goal, which is to help as many people to manifest their greatness as possible. So remember, like, subscribe, and share, and then hit that bell notification when you subscribe so that you never miss an episode of Thrive Nation. So until next time, remember, you have greatness within you. You are here for a reason. You have a purpose. And so you must remember to live every day like it was on purpose and in alignment with your purpose. Here's to you, moving beyond survival and manifesting your greatness. Thanks again for sticking with us on another edition of Thrive Nation.